self-impose my...
Hey, John, welcome in. Sonica, welcome in. Tallyboy83, welcome in. Joy, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. We'll begin in a couple of minutes. Mexi Pina, welcome in. Mexi Pina, I'm enjoying your posts. I love watching your posts, it's so funny. I like the one with the ghost in the middle of the living room. Sonica, how are you doing? How's it going? We haven't seen you in a while. Glad that you're back. Well, actually, you have been here. You have been coming a couple of times. Joy, welcome in. Doing okay? All right. Good. We'll begin in a couple of minutes. We're just waiting for the room to get filled. Corey, welcome in. Welcome back. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome to those of you on YouTube and those of you on Instagram. We'll begin in a couple of minutes. Thank you for the TGIF. I really appreciate that. We have a goal of 20 TGIFs tonight here. Thank you so much. Julia, welcome back. Destiny, welcome in. That nerd emoji guy from YouTube, welcome in. Destiny, welcome in. We are 50% at our goal. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lola, welcome in. Happy Friday to everybody. Can you play Monkeys Spinning? Monkey Spinning by Monkey. Can I get it? Dixon Myas. Jamie. Dixon Myas. I think I got fooled with that one. Amelia Martinez, welcome in. I have a couple of tricksters. I know, right, Lala? Dixon. I got a couple of tricksters on YouTube. Dixon Maya. The nerd emoji. We know that one already. Jamie O'Neill. Yeah, we got a couple of troubles on. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube, you have to behave. Otherwise, you can leave the room. Go find another room to go do that in. We're not here for that. We have we have cultivated a very elevated group here. Old school kid, that one's old too. Axel, welcome back. Yeah. I'm gonna have to send a moderator over to YouTube. I'm gonna send a moderator over to YouTube if you guys can't behave. I was reading the Bible and God said, John, come on. But what if he... Axel, thank you so much. No, nerd emoji. Send me... Yeah, John, go into my YouTube. I don't know what it is with YouTube, but they always have trolls. Yeah. It is. Yeah, Julia, that was. That's how they're acting right now. They're the bad kids in the back. We had to move you guys to the back because you guys don't know how to behave in the front. The next move, we're going to send you to the other classroom. That's your first warning. Or we'll just turn you guys off. Yeah. Jamie O'Neill in the back. We're here to learn. This is a learning. This is a learning hour. Hey, Spooky Owl, welcome in. John, thank you so much for appearing. Guys, John's in there now. Let's see. Let me see if I can. John, make a comment. Let me have you come up and see if you can be a moderator in there. Connor, oh really? Spooky doing really good. It's good Friday. Send them for a minute or so. Yes, Julia, I am. Yeah. Oh, we'll send them to the old teacher next door. John's telling him to stop misbehaving. I love it. It's in my nature. I'm outraged. The nerd emoji guy. Yeah. Hey Janelle Howell, welcome in. How's everything in Washington? I don't know if YouTube has the same controls that TikTok does. Right. Oh, here we go. Let's see, John. I'm going to add you as the moderator on here. Jamie was in the back of the class managing. You're going to be the managing moderator back there. John is now managing moderator. Let's eat an entire pot of soup. Yeah, smart. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We are halfway through our goal. So we're going to start with where the sidewalk ends. Okay, we're going to start with the unicorn. All right, let me get this going. The unicorn. This one's a long one, guys. So, hey, Angie. This one's a pretty long one here. The unicorn. A long time ago, when Earth was green and there was more kids and there were more kinds of animals than you ever seen, and they run around free while the world was being born, and the loveliest of all was the unicorn. There was green alligators and long-necked geese. There was humpy, bumpy camels and chimpanzees. There was cat, sand, rat, elephants, but sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. But the Lord seen some sinning and it caused him pain. He says, stand back, I'm going to make it rain. He says, hey, brother Noah, I'll tell you what you do. Go and build me a floating zoo. And you take 2 alligators and a couple of geese, 2 humpy bumpy camels and 2 chimpanzees. Take 2 cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, Noah, don't you forget my unicorn. Yeah, John, I don't think so. Let's find out. Now Noah was there, and he answered the calling, and he finished up the ark just as the rain started falling. He marched in the animals 2 by 2, and he called out as they went through. Hey Lord, I got your 2 alligators and your couple of geese, your hungry bumpy camels and your 2 chimpanzees. Got your cats and rats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, 'cause I just don't see no unicorn. Hey Chiquita, welcome in. Old Noah looked out through the driving rain, but the unicorns were hiding, playing silly games. They were kicking and splashing in the misty morn. Oh, them silly unicorn. Then the goat started goatin' and the snakes started snaking. The elephant started elephanting and the boat started shaking. The mouse started squeaking and the lion started roaring. And aboard, and everybody's aboard but the unicorn. I mean the green alligators and the long neat guests, the humpy bumpy camels and the chimpanzees. Noah cried, "Close the door 'cause the rain is a pouring, and we just can't wait for them unicorn." Then the ark started moving and it drifted with the tide, and the unicorns looked up from the rock and cried, and the water come up and sort of floated them away. That's why you've never seen a unicorn to this day. You'll see a lot of alligators and a whole mess of geese. You'll see humpy bumpy camels and lots of chimpanzees. You'll see cats and rats and elephants. But sure as you're born, you're never gonna see no unicorn. The end. Now that's why we don't see unicorns. We know that they exist, but we don't see them. That was a good one. This one's called The Tree House. We love the illustrations on this one. The tree house. A tree house, a free house, a secret you and me house. A high up in the leafy branches, cozy as can be house. A street house, a neat house. Be sure and wipe your feet house. Is not my kind of house at all. Let's go live in a tree house. That was a good one. Oh, did you, Julia? Oh, this one's your favorite treehouse? Oh, how fun. Yeah, it's very rhymy. The Flying Festoon. We'll read three more. That was two. Oh, I'm going to ride on the Flying Festoon. I'll jump on his back and I'll whistle a tune. And we'll fly to the outermost tip of the moon, the Flying Festoon and I. I'm taking a sandwich, a ball, and a prune, and we're leaving this evening precisely at noon. For I'm going to fly with the Flying Festoon just as soon as he learns how to fly. So he made plans without even the Flying Festoon knowing how to fly. Hey, Rach, welcome in. That's a Flying Festoon. No difference. Small as a peanut, big as a giant, we're all the same size when we turn off the light. Rich as a sultan, poor as a mite, we're all worth the same when we turn off the light. Red, black, and orange, yellow, or white, we all look the same when we turn off the light. So maybe the way to make everything right is for God to just reach out and turn off the light. That's deep. That's deep. Let's read that again. No difference. Small as a peanut, big as a giant, we're all the same size when we turn off the light. Rich as a sultan, poor as a mite, we're all worth the same when we turn off the light. Red, black, or orange, yellow, or white, we all look the same when we turn off the light. So maybe the way to make everything right is for God to just reach out and turn off the light. That's a good one for today's times. No difference. It's a good one. Invisible Boy. And here we see the invisible boy in his lovely invisible house, feeding a piece of invisible cheese to a little invisible mouse. Oh, what a beautiful picture to see. Will you draw an invisible picture for me? There's nothing there. Isn't that great? That was a good one. The end. We love to start our live with a good Where the Sidewalk Ends poem. We love to start the live with a good where the sidewalk ends. All right, let's go ahead and rate that 1 through 10. What are we thinking tonight? 1 through 10. Let's get organized here. We read some really good titles on the East Coast. Let's see if you guys get the same. I kind of like your guys' Where the Sidewalk End poems. Janelle Howell 10, Stacy 10, Julia 10. Yeah, I agree. Those were 10s, especially that night one, Turning Out the Light. That was a good one. D. Let's pour the tea tonight. We are drinking fresh chamomile herbal tea. Oh no. I knew I was going to go too far on that. Luckily, it didn't break. John, you gave that one a 10? Yeah, luckily it didn't break. That's probably 1. Don't do that again. All right. Let's look in our pile of books. Now, I was telling you guys the other day that I went to the library, my neighborhood, and they were doing a 4 for $1. And what a good deal it was, because they were giving these books away with the library vacuums on them. And we love a good library vacuum. I'm going to read this one because this one's been looking at me in the face this whole time, and I want to read it. Numenia and the Hurricane, inspired by a true migration story. Numenia and the Hurricane. This one's going to have gorgeous illustration in it. We love a good end page. We love when the author and the illustrator gives us a really good end page to start our story with. Looks like the ocean with birds. Aw. The little babies. Oh, this is going to be a cute one. 3 Sisters Born by Arctic Shore. On bare cold rock as spring winds roar. Bandit-eyed, they slip unseen. Thank you so much for the 80%. Through beckoning moors of tangled green. Hunting bugs in thawing creeks. Spearing, gobbling, growing beaks. 5 weeks old, they've reached the sky. Curly, curly, curly loo, they cry. Thank you so much for reaching that goal. I really appreciate it. So these are the little chicks that have been born. Isn't that cute with the little sun, with the moon in the back? We love a good moon. We love a good dewdrop. But do you? Kimberly, no, I don't. I just go to the library and pick them up. I could probably bring them up on my library inventory. And then look at these little, here's the mama bird and the little baby birds on here. Suddenly, it's equinox. Autumn calls its feathered flocks. Thousands gather on the moor, babbling, jostling, but unsure. Look at how pretty that is. I should. I've heard of Goodreads, but not Fable. Kimberly, what is the what happens when you track your books? Does it track how much you've read or how many stories you've read? Till wise old goose shows them the way, searching out of Hudson Bay. Three sisters rise and seek the height, guided by the North Star's light. Guys, I knew this one was really going to be really good. Look at that illustration. The moon in the back, the three birds, the three baby birds, and then the mom's wings right here. The clouds. But from the skies, a great stampede, 10,000 hissing raindrops freed. Look at those black, that shading. Isn't that great shading, the black shading? It almost makes it look feathery. The black eyes, the beaks, the rain. Oh, Kimberly, you know what? I can probably, because I have the ones that are in the archives that we read. I should start doing that now. We could track it out while we're online. I'll bring my computer. Can you do it on your computer? You just on the laptop? It's fun to go back. Oh, how fun! One ripped away, she claws the air, blinded by the lighting glare. Down she swoops, her feathers flail, a tiny peep, a screeching wail. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, because that would be fun to see how much we read. Escape, escape, the awful shriek. Faltering, she's wet and weak. Aw. One ripped away, she claws the air, blinded by the lightning glare. Down she swoops, her feathers flail, a tiny peep, a screeching wail. Oh, she got hit by the lightning. Looks like one of them got hit by the lightning, and she's fine. Oh, okay. Escape, escape, the awful shriek. Faltering, she's wet and weak. And look at all the other birds they're looking on. And she's fallen. The city. Askew upon a windowsill, a dripping ghost with trembling bill. Look at these gorgeous pictures. So it looks like it landed on the windowsill, and there's somebody watching her from inside. And this is the perspective from the top of the sky looking down. A moon face in a glowing pane, fingers reaching through the rain. In restless dreams, she's one of three sisters in a tangled tree. Aww. And then look at this picture right here. How pretty that is. Must be that girl that was looking at the window. Aww. Is that blood or it's picked something up? She lifts her eyes, she longs for flight, surging into dawn's red light. On stronger wing, she battles on, searching, seeking, she is drawn. The illustrator put a lot of work into these illustrations. Very pretty. With storm-tossed birds like ragged ghosts, she hugs the lines of battered coasts. She's half the weight she was before, a clutch of hope and nothing more. Look at the light tower. Still in the sky. But from the sigh of distant waves echo sweet and haunting staves. Curly, curly, curly Lou, they ring. Through sundered skies her feathers sing. In crumbled rainbows sundrift spun, she's molten gold in sinking sun. Look at that orange sky. Hey, Urban Fresh, welcome back. Wild trees wade the foaming tide. Egrets hiss, fish glint and glide. Egrets. Look at these greens and blues. These green and blue combinations and gold. Those are really nice combinations. Color combinations. Around her roots, snatch and trap, paw her, claw her, croak and flap. Look at this one. This is such a pretty picture here. The black eye and then the black feathers with the gold. It looks like a fish. Then, weary-winged, she sinks her toes. In rippling warmth, its home she knows. And cloaked in dancing fireflies, singing softly, two shapes arise. So it looks like she made it home to where she needs to be. Thank you, Ava, for the follow. Yes, very whimsical. Right. Here, where moon and shadows meet, three joyful sisters softly greet. And so their bond is forged anew. Curly, curly, curl, Lou. Looks like they made it together with the moon in the center there. Look at how cute this picture is with the little beaks crossing. They're all sisters. The true story that inspired this book. It says the name Numenia comes from Numenius pheropus, the Latin name for whimbrels, a type of migratory shorebird. When I first saw a whimbrel on the Shetland Islands in Scotland, I was immediately fascinated. Despite my love of birds, I knew very little about whimbrels. Then I read about Hope. Hope was a whimbrel that scientists from the Center of Conservatory Biology tracked between 2009 and 2012. Every year as Hope flew her migration route, they gathered information through a tiny solar-powered satellite transmitter that she wore like a backpack. In 2011, the scientists witnessed something astonishing. As Hope set off on her annual migration from Canada's Northwest Territories to the U.S. Virgin Islands, she ran into Tropical Storm Gert off the coast of Nova Scotia. She battled through raging headwinds for 27 hours nonstop, going an average of 9 miles per hour. Would this little bird with nothing to fuel her but a belly full of tundra berries make it? She must have been exhausted. Not only did she survive the storm, but afterwards she used its headwinds to hurl herself back toward Cape Cod. Days later, she arrived in St. Croix, where she spent the winter feeding on fiddler crabs before her long migration back to Canada in the spring. Hurricanes can be devastating for migratory birds like Hope and Numenia. Blown hundreds and thousands of miles off course, they are weakened and exposed to predators. Hurricanes can be 400 miles wide, so migrating birds sometimes find them impossible to avoid. And yet these birds are not to be underestimated. We can learn from their tenacity and determination to face our storms with the same quiet courage. Guys, we learned a lot. Numenia and the Hurricane. This was a good one. And for 25 cents. 25 cents. I'm going to go to the library tomorrow and talk to them. What's going on, guys? You guys are giving away treasures. This is a really good one. All right, let's take a vote. Yeah, a really good one. Where the Sidewalk Ends, 1. We started with Our Life. Then we just finished Numenia and Hurricane. Interesting how they put a little backpack on her to track her. Can you imagine finding a bird with a backpack on it? Lisa Brown, 2. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one. Your intuitive bestie, welcome in. All right, let's see what else we have in the stacks for you guys tonight. Mr. Grumpy's motor car. This is going to be a good one, I can already tell. We need to set up a new goal, though. Let's set up a new goal tonight. Let's do the goat. Let's do 20 of those. Confirm. Mr. Grumpy's motor car. This is going to be a really good one. I can already tell. I can already tell. Mr. Grumpy was going for a ride in his car. There's Mr. Grumpy. He doesn't look too grumpy. He's got a big smile on his face. He's got these old-fashioned, let's look like a Studebaker. We love the illustrations on this. There's like crossings of illustrations here. There's Mr. Grumpy. And the tree looks like painted. Now that, you know what? Now that I have my paintbrushes, give me 1 second, guys. Now that I have my paintbrushes out, I can show you guys what I've always thought. So these right here, this drawing, looks like they just got the paintbrush and did this with green. Pops. Oh, thank you so much, Chiquita, for that. And then they dipped it into the brown. And then they did this. Pops of color. John, yes. Some Bob Ross art. This book is copyright 1973. He drove out of the gate and down the lane. The year I was born. So this book is 51 years old. May we come too, said the children. May we, said the rabbit, the cat, the dog, the pig, the sheep, the chickens, the calf, and the goat. They all want to come with Mr. Grumpy. Yes, illustrations must have painted these pages very beautifully. Yes, I agree. You have some black and white paints. You got some colored ones. I love this goat here. All right, Mr. Grumpy, but it will be a squash. And they all piled in. Thank you, Prince Hairfoot. They all got in. Look at that girl right there. But back then in 1973, there was no limit of how many people you could have in your car. No seatbelt requirements. Just get in. Just hope you don't fall out. It's a lovely day, said Mr. Grumpy. Let's take the old dirt road across the fields. So they want to take the long way. They wanted to take the long way. For a while, they drove along happily. The sun shone, the engine chugged, and everyone was enjoying the ride. Everyone enjoying the ride. Yay, we're 50% towards our goal. Thank you so much for that. Put my cape. Maria, I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I don't like the look of those clouds. I think it's going to rain, said Mr. Grumpy. I still don't see Mr. Grumpy in a bad mood because he's enjoying himself. He's enjoying his day out. Very soon, the dark clouds were right overhead. Mr. Grumpy stopped the car. He jumped out, put up the top, and down came the rain. So it got cloudy all of a sudden, and now it's raining. Prince Hairflip, oh good, you caught up on it. You have to binge watch the 15 episodes. The road grew muddier and muddier, and the wheels began to spin. Mr. Grumpy looked at the hill ahead. Some of you will have to get out and push, he said. Yeah, he's been driving around. He's been driving everybody around, and now it's time for them to give back. Not me, said the goat. I'm too old. Not me, said the calf. I'm too young. Not us, said the chicken. We can't push. Not me, said the sheep. I might catch cold. Not me, said the pig. I've a bone in my trotter. Not me, said the dog. But I'll drive if you like. Not me, said the cat. It would ruin my fur. Not me, said the rabbit. I'm not very well. Not me, said the girl. He's stronger. Not me, said the boy. She's bigger. Now I know why Mr. Grumpy is called Mr. Grumpy. I have a favorite character already. I love it. Prince Hairflip, who's your favorite character on there? The wheels churned. Mr. Grumpy better not get out and push that car because he's been the one driving everybody around town. The nurse guy. She's a little bit too much, huh? The car sank deeper into the mud. Now we're really stuck, said Mr. Grumpy. They all got out and pushed. Okay, everybody's giving their best to help Mr. Grumpy out. Yeah. They pushed and shoved and heaved and strained and gasped and slipped and slithered and squelched. Slowly the car began to move. Don't stop, cried Mr. Grumpy. Keep it up. We're nearly there. Everyone gave a mighty heave. The tires gripped. So they're making their way out of the rain. Hey, flowers from the attic, welcome in. Goldie, welcome in. The car edged its way to the top of the hill. They looked up and saw that the sun was shining again. It began to get hot. So the sun came out. The rain was over. We'll drive home across the bridge, said Mr. Grumpy. Then you can go for a swim. And they did. After a while, it was time to go home. So they had a nice afternoon. They had a little bit of an adventure with that storm, but they made it. Then he told them, you guys can go out for a swim. Goodbye, said Mr. Grumpy. Come for a drive another day. Aw. He wasn't very grumpy. I failed to see where he was grumpy. He seemed to be very nice. The end. Mr. Grumpy's motor car. This was a good one. This was a good one. We love a good traditional. She's so good. She is. We started with the side where the sidewalk ends. Then we read Numina and the Hurricane. Luminia. And then Mr. Grumpy's Motor Car. 3. Let's take a vote in the comment section. Let's see what you guys are thinking tonight so far. You guys are getting really good titles. Really good titles. Janelle Howell 2. Lisa Brown 2. Oh, my throat's tickling me. Kimberly 2. Kimberly, I'm going to look up that Goodreads and start logging. Dose for John Doe. I'm going to start logging these in. Because I would like to see how much time we're reading. The Goalie Washer. The Goalie Washer. Her nonsense is hilarious. When we open it up, we get this really good end page of hot peppers, green peppers, red peppers. It's the first time we've ever seen an end page that has end peppers or chilies on it. The Goalie Washer. Leticia and her grandfather watched the summer rain clouds drift across the southwestern sky. It is giving fajitas. Now that was a goalie washer, said Leticia's grandfather. We'd better wait a minute before we take our walk. It could start up again. Leticia climbed onto the arm of the old stuffed chair. Look at me, abuelito. Giddy up, she shouted. So we get this really cool deserty southwestern feel to that. And look at the storm clouds. If you've ever been to the desert, or I don't even think it's just the desert, but before it rains, or when that first rain hits the dirt, it smells really good. You could smell this picture. This is very traditional, having these chilies, this chili rack here. Hey, little vaquera, said her grandfather as he sunk into the cushion beside her. You got room in your saddlebag for an old-timer like me? Si, answered Leticia, bouncing up and down. Where are you off to so fast? Asked Abuelito. I'm going to round up cattle and take them back to the rancho, just like you used to do. Leticia twirled an imaginary lasso above her head and gave it a toss. Tell me about when you were a vaquero, she said. That was a long time ago. I think I forgot, teased Abuelito. No, you haven't. You remember. Please, begged Leticia. So there's Leticia and there's her grandfather. Doesn't it, Mindy? Yes, it smells really fresh. Chiquita tomorrow's dinner idea. I love it. Ah, yes, began Abuelito slowly. I remember a spring day many years ago when the biggest goalie washer ever came my way. I was searching for a stray cattle just south of here. The sky turned dark as night. Dust devils came whipping off the mesas, blowing my sombrero high up into the sky. The rain began, and it wouldn't stop. We have a theme tonight with our books. Rainstorms. We read the first one, which was one of the poems was about Noah's Ark. And then we read about the gully, or the bird, the migrating birds. And now this guy's in a storm. I looked for shelter, but there wasn't any. I had to let the rain wash over me. After the storm was finally over, I saw how the water had wrinkled my hands. When I looked at my reflection in the water hole, I could see that the rain had wrinkled my face too. And that's the way I've looked ever since. These are definitely watercolors. No, Abuelito wasn't bad looking, you're right. Let's get our paintbrush again and start dabbing. Looks like they got watercolors and just started dabbing. We're gonna put in little pops of yellow here and little pops of red. Isn't that fun? We're gonna paint some mountains with blue. Leticia laughed. She reached over and ruffled her grandfather's fluffy white hair. And how did you get this? She asked. I climbed back on my horse and rode until I was too tired to go on. I stopped to take a siesta in the shade at Palo Verde. A very deserty type of book. Right, Mindy? I think with a good canvas, you could paint it. And the trees, more dabs of green, yellows, greens and yellows, and then little greens and yellows over here. Let's put in some gold streaks to make a plant. And then we'll draw. We'll paint a roadrunner. While I slept, a hummingbird began to take strands of my hair to make her nest. That parajita was so gentle and quiet, I never woke. One by one, she plucked the dark-colored hairs, but she left all the white ones for me. And look at this picture of her grandfather sleeping. Isn't that cool? Oh, Mindy, do you a roadrunner? Mindy, what part of the USA do you live in? If you don't mind, you don't have to tell us. There's the little bird plucking some hairs from his head. Chiquita, right? The paintbrush. Oh, Mindy, then this is exactly what you're used to, huh? This type of plains. Leticia giggled and patted her grandfather's round belly. Now, tell me how you got this. Thank you so much for reaching the goal. I really appreciate it. I was very hungry when I woke up, but I had no food, so I rode on until I came to a village. There, an old woman was sitting in front of her house, grinding corn on her metate. I asked her if she could spare a handful, and she gave me some of her hard kernels. Corn. Corn. There's the lady in her adobe style home. Mesa. I swallowed them whole, but I was still hungry. So I gobbled some chili peppers hanging on the wall nearby. The old woman jumped up and began to wave. No, vaquero, she shouted. But it was too late. The chilies were as hot as fire. They made the corn pop, pop, pop. And my stomach grew. Oh, so he started eating these chilies on the wall here. Look at his stomach. He probably got bad digestion. And this one, looks like they took the paintbrush and made some clouds. We're gonna paint some clouds here. Let's get some gold. Put it over here. Corey, you thought Roadrunners are fictional? I thought so too, but they don't look anything like the Roadrunner. And then this green. We're gonna make these little dabs here with some gold. Pop, 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 said Leticia, jumping off the chair and hopping around the porch. Look, the clouds are going away. Let's go for our walk now. I'll pull you. The smell of the damp desert was strong and sweet. Leticia jumped over the puddles and skipped circles around Abuelito as he moved slowly down the road. Yeah, Corey, I was looking at some of these pictures, and we've talked about these before, like they're watercolors. And now that I have my brushes out, it gives me an opportunity to show you what I was thinking. You get some green, and then we're gonna do some shading, and then we're gonna put some darker colors here, and some lighter here, and then this sky. Let's grab some yellow. And we're gonna put some yellow here. And we're gonna make the water some more yellows. That'll be fun. You've been kissing it. Abuelito, why are you so bent over? Asked Tisha. Did that also happen on the day of the big gully washer? As a matter of fact, it did, said her grandfather. I climbed onto my horse and to begin the long journey home, but the horse was tired and wouldn't budge. I tried to push him and I tried to pull him, but he stood solid on the mountain. Looks like the horse didn't want to go anywhere. Hey, Carrie, welcome in. Corey gives you tingles. Isn't it fun? I love it. What did you do? Asked Letitia. Well, said Abuelito, I swung the caballo over my shoulders and carried him all the way home on my back. Grandpa. He is a storyteller. He's a storyteller. Let's paint this lady's shirt. We're gonna get some whites and then maybe dip it in some water to make it stained a little. And then we're gonna grab some orange or some red. But we're gonna paint the skirt. Yeah, we're gonna dip it in some water to lighten it a little. Let's dip it in some yellows. I'll put little streaks. Let's put some yellows here on the rabbit's ear as well. They stopped to rest at the mission. Letitia became very quiet. What's the matter? Said Abuelito. It's not like you to be so still. Does it make you sad to bend over? Leticia asked. Abuelito thought for a minute. She noticed that something was wrong. A Hawaiian girl. We're painting. We've added painting strokes. Because it looks like this is how they would paint this tree here. You grab the point of it. Let's do this here. And just dab it. Dab it. The trees. No, little Vaquera, he said as they began to walk home. It makes me closer to you. He stooped just a little to kiss her on the forehead. Look at her face, how cute. The dog. The end. The Gully Washer. We really like this one. This one was a good one. We really liked the paint strokes. And then we're gonna get some tans. And let's get some yellows and then we'll shade it with some greens. And then we'll make the clouds in the back with like a dark color. With some blues and whites. Put some more greens here and then yellows. There's a ride called the Gully Washer at 6. Oh. Does it go through water, John? All right, let's take a look at what you guys read tonight. You guys had some really good titles tonight. Everyone was a back-to-back learning. Where the sidewalk ends. We really enjoyed the poems tonight. Numia and the hurricane. We learned about birds that migrate through hurricanes have really struggle, and that sometimes hurricanes can be 400 miles long, and it takes them that long to get through it. Mr. Grumpy's Motor Car. This was a fun one, very traditional, 1973 traditional children's literature book. And then The Gully Washer. Which one was your favorite? 1, 2, 3, or 4? John the Gully Washer. That one's probably reminds you a lot of Texas when you're in Texas. Janelle Howell 2 and 4. Corey Gully and the Paintbrush was my name. I love it. John 4. Chiquita, my vote changed to 4. Yeah, that was a good one. Mindy 4. JH, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Dirty 30s 2. Hawaiian Girl. Yes, the last one was good. Yeah. With the paintbrush. Yeah, that was a good one. Mm-hmm. Hawaiian Girl 4. Perfect. Lisa Brown 4. Jonah, was the book based in Texas? No. Let me see. There is something here by the author. Let's see what she says. When the grandfather in this story was a young man, and for many years before, cattle roamed the western rangeland freely. Since there were few or no fences, cattle owners hired horsemen to tend their stock. Mexican horsemen called vaqueros were the first cowboys. Life on the range was harsh. Among the greatest dangers were the gully washers, or thunderstorms, that struck during the spring and summer. These violent storms often caused flash floods and stampedes, but of all the cowboys' hardships, the greatest was loneliness. There were times, perhaps during a roundup, when cowboys joined their fellow workers around a campfire to sing songs or tell stories. Some of their favorite tales were about men like themselves who faced difficult tasks. In these tall tales, the hero always won. With each telling, the story grew more outrageous. The storyteller would keep a straight face to convince the listener that the unbelievable story was true. This made the listener laugh even more. Tall tales were sometimes called whoppers, windies, gallifloppers, or yarns. They demonstrate cowboys' love of sharing laughter among friends, much as Leticia and her grandfather share in The Gully Washer. Special thanks to Dave and Diane for Stafford, Arizona. So yeah, be in the Southwest somewhere. Yeah, like a New Mexico. That's what I was thinking, Chiquita, like that area. New Mexico, Texas. Yeah, by the border. I'd say Texas, yeah. Hawaiian Girl. I leave on the 23rd. So next week will be our last week of read alouds, and then we go on vacation for 2 weeks. And then we'll be back the first week of July. So we have to make next week count, because next week is the last week before 2 weeks off. I asked my landlords to take care of my cats so they have their routine down. So we are good to go. Alrighty, friends, thank you so much for the 22,000 likes. Thank you too for our 2 set of goals that we reached. Really appreciate it. We will be back on Sunday night for the Sunday Night Scaries. For those of us who still have to go to work. I know, I miss you guys too. Yeah, Hawaiian Girl. Next week will be my last week, and then I go on vacation. Oh, Corey, your birthday is July 2nd? We'll have to send you a message. We'll send you a message from Croatia. That's where I'm going. I'll be in Croatia for Slovenia and Croatia for 2 weeks. I'll be on the islands on a boat, drinking. Let's see if I come back. No. Alrighty, friends. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And we will see you on Sunday. Have a good night, everyone.